Ladies and gentlemen, may I have your attention, please?
Attention. Do I have everybody's attention now? Burn it down!
This is the In My House Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Finally, The Rock has come back home.
ScottyVia brings you your new favorite pro wrestling podcast.
There is nothing you could do that is more dangerous than wrestling CM Punk.
He's got the latest in covering all of the major promotions in professional wrestling.
Austin 316 says I just whipped your ass.
Breaking news and hot topics, he's covering everything from Monday night till Sunday night's main event.
I'm the hottest thing in professional wrestling. I'm Dr. Britt Baker.
And we never forget to go old school.
I was rowdy before rowdy was cool.
From the golden era
The irresistible force meeting the immovable object.
to the attitude era.
And if you're not down with that, then he's got 2 words for you.
To the revolution.
It's about the 14 years it took me to go from undesirable to un-goddamn deniable.
And everything in between. This is your pro wrestling podcast. This is In My House.
Give me a hell yeah.
Ooh, welcome everybody to the In My House Pro Wrestling Podcast. This is Monday Night Mike, of course, joined by my very handsome co-hosts, one ScottyVia, and the prettiest belle of the ball. He's back, UK Tom.
Ooh, he's back. I'm back for 2 weeks and then I'm gone for free. So
that's right.
Fucking
that's right.
Great. Leave me with Sami Zayn talk. Fucking sweet. Thanks. Thanks, Tom.
You're gonna miss Sami Zayn Appreciation Day on the show here, Tom. I'm sorry about that.
Isn't that the week after Cody Rhodes Appreciation Day?
It is. Yeah. It
my
follows
God.
on every third Thursday of every month. That's right.
Great start. I did the intro and then this thing just went straight downhill.
Yeah, you did the intro and it completely threw me off.
Gentlemen, pro wrestling. We have a fun show today.
We really do, actually. And it kind of started before we started rolling here. And I said, guys, let's just do this on the show.
Yeah.
I throw out the question, guys, is there anything else we can talk about? We got our subjects for today's show, but anything from the weekend or Raw or SmackDown or TNA or fucking whatever, Collision. But we started talking about Monday Night Raw. The CM Punk Drew McIntyre segment really hit you, Mike, didn't it? Or was it a bit of a miss?
Yeah, I thought it was a miss. And those guys have been like on fire. So it just proves like, okay, you can't do it every Monday. But I am excited for the strap match. Like I think that's awesome. Good for them. It'll be entertaining to watch.
I think it's a great gimmick for them to use right now.
For sure.
It helps with the violence that we didn't get at SummerSlam. It helps with fulfilling that promise that we were supposed to get the most, violence that we've never seen before. And I'm not saying we're gonna get that with the strap match, but we saw what Punk and MJF did with the dog collar match back in the day. You're gonna get in my opinion, a WWE version of that, and it's gonna be fantastic. Well, at least the hopes are it's gonna be fantastic. But I think we're gonna see some real good whippings, boys.
Well, we've seen the damage these guys can do with the straps in the past. Like, I mean, I know Sheamus is white as a ghost and it looks worse than it probably is, but I remember watching him getting whipped and it was just instant bruising.
Yeah.
No, thank you.
I mean, it's good for the Fed. We talk about it. They're kind of ramping up. So when they go to these shows, like it can be a little more violent. So I hope they make that pay off. On the other hand, Monday Night Raw still has me excited for Randy Orton and Gunther, because if you're not, you're an idiot. I'm very excited for that program.
It's going to be a hell of a match. I'm hoping it goes past Bash at Berlin. I just don't think it will. I'm not a big fan of these one-off 3-week storylines to get into a pay-per-view just to kind of fill time. I understand why they do it, but I think you can give Randy another month of a run with a storyline. But he's technically a SmackDown guy, so I imagine he's just going to go back because he's cashing in on what he thought he was owed from the Schmoz finish at King of the Ring, which is a great connecting the dots, tying things together, and it gives something for Randy to do that's very important. It helps Gunther get himself and that championship over even more to begin Gunther's reign. So it's all love for me on this whole storyline. I don't want it to be a quick one and done.
The only reason I think it is a quick one and done is because they've already had a Schmaltz finish.
Yeah.
So can you have two of those? Like,
probably not best to do it back to back. Yeah, that's right.
And also, Gunther on their first pay-per-view in Germany should probably win clean.
I'd imagine so. Yeah. So we got that coming up next week. So next week's show will be making our picks for Bash at Berlin. So stay tuned for that, ladies and gentlemen. But Monday Night Raw, I want to get back to the New Day a little bit real quick before we get into our show.
New Day.
I still like the seeds that were somewhat planted about Woods not happy with Kofi. Are we going to see any type of breakup, explosion, the mega powers explode kind of thing, right?
Yeah, mega.
I don't know. I just don't know if they're actually going to pull that trigger. I didn't think they would do it last night, but I also don't think the New Day should have won last night over the Final Testament. I thought Woods should have been taking that pin after being bumped accidentally by one of his teammates or not getting attacked, or whatever it was. There should have been something else. I didn't like the fact that the Final Testament took the loss again.
Well, what purpose do the Final Testament even serve now? And also, I mentioned this on Twitter or X or whatever the hell it's called.
You can call it Twitter.
Why the hell are Scarlett and Paul Ellering there?
Yes.
What do they do?
Yes.
And it annoys the shit out of me because Paul Ellering is one of the best speakers in wrestling history, and they're not letting him talk. Therefore, why are you dragging a 70-year-old man all around the world to walk down to the ring with 4 jobbers and then fly him home again? And I'm imagining Paul Ellering, even at 70, it's probably not cheap.
Let the man get paid. Hey, Paul, you want to walk down there and get your money? Fucking A.
Hey, also, walk down there in the tightest leather pants I've ever seen in my life.
I'd love to see it.
Well, he borrows them from Scarlett.
His pants are tighter than whatever Scarlett wears.
So I did read a while back, I think it was even with the first run of the Authors of Pain, that Paul Ellering is still so old school that he still helps book travel and helps guide those 2 guys. And I imagine there's just a really good bonding connection between all 3 of them where it's just a comfortability level. Plus Triple H can say, I've got Paul Ellering in WWE. Other than that, he's not much of a purpose. He's not really in vignettes other than maybe a word or two and smacking a newspaper in his hand. I'd like to see more. I'd like to see the Final Testament just go away. Authors of Pain and Ellering could be one thing. Killer Cross and Scarlett can go be another thing. Hopefully, preferably one of those 2 options gets booked in a better way, in my opinion. But
probably not.
I'm wondering if Ellering's anything to do with booking. Maybe he is. Maybe he's helping.
I would like to see it. He's probably got a really smart mind for the business after everything he's seen over his entire career.
They embrace the legends coming back, right? Like the history of wrestling, like coming through the door, even if it's a short time. Like, again, there is a professional wrestler in charge of creative at WWE.
Yeah.
So, like, take note, AEW, which we'll talk about shortly. It helps when there's an old school mentality that can still work in today's new day of wrestling. New day.
When Paul Ellering retired initially back in the early 90s, do you guys know what he did for a job for years?
No.
It's one of my funnest of fun facts.
Oh, Tom Fun Fact.
He was one of those sled dog racers.
Fuck yeah.
Up in the Arctic Circle.
Really?
Yeah, like the movie 8 Below and the one
Cuba
with
Gooding Jr.
Yeah. Cinematic masterpiece.
Exactly.
8 Below.
That's what he did for years.
That's wild. Also, you can see that movie now on Disney Plus. So just to get
Hey, Disney Plus, give us money.
please and thank you. That's
Don't
wild
do
though.
the
That's
password. Don't do the password sharing, so my family doesn't bitch at me. Please.
Yeah, please.
Love it. I'm hoping we still get a full-blown heel turn by Xavier Woods. I want him to go full heel. I want him to be his own character, his own guy, his own thing. I think it's time. I think it's time.
10 years of New Day is enough.
Even if it doesn't happen, I'm still good with the New Day. The New Day serve a great purpose of getting younger talent over, being faces of the company, being out there to do promotion and all that stuff, plus great house show matches that are so much fun. So I have no issue if they don't split up or do much more, but I think Woods could do a lot more because I believe he's a bit younger than the other two guys. And
yeah, he is.
And I don't think Big E's coming back, unfortunately. So
I'm not so sure. I'm not so sure.
Monday Night Mike's got some insight on Big E.
It was like when we talked about initially with the New Day split. I like it, and it's a good way to get Big E back in the fold.
I would love to see it. I'm
for
praying
that moment, right?
Yeah, praying it happens. But man, if he's not back yet, I don't know. So Tom, do you think he's coming back? You weren't on with us last week when we were chatting about this.
I think he's done.
Yeah, that's tough.
He
seems happy.
Yeah, that's all that's important, but I think he's done.
We've got All In to talk about coming up because that is this Sunday.
Mm-hmm.
Guys, should I order that pay-per-view?
Why?
Yeah, I
Did you order the last 5 AEW pay-per-views?
No, I don't know what I really want to see Danielson and Swerve in the main event. I think that match will be fucking fantastic. So the rest of the card kind of hit and miss on, but I don't know. Something's drawing me to like, you need to buy this pay-per-view. So we'll see. Tune in on our socials on Sunday and I'll let you know at In My House Pod. But before we get talking about AEW All In, we've kind of been throwing this around in the group chat for quite a while now, and we all have them. We all vent about them, and whether they're big or small, and I think mine are kind of minute. We're talking wrestling pet peeves today on the In My House Pro Wrestling Podcast. We're each bringing 3 pet peeves, things that just irk the shit out of us, bother us when we see them on our TV or when we're at the matches. That's annoying. It's super, super annoying. So we're going to rattle off a few. If you've got a couple, hit us up at In My House Pod on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. What are your wrestling pet peeves, guys? Who wants to start? Who wants to go with their 3?
We're just doing the straight 3?
Yeah, I think so. I'll start. I'll go through my 3.
Oh, all right, great. Here we go.
Just going to bring up my list here. So
I mean, I'm real intrigued because you thought mine and yours were going to be similar.
Yeah, and I think one of ours might be very similar because I think we've talked about it in the group chat before. This is no
Yentas who hate wrestling.
This is no particular order. This isn't worst to least, whatever. It's just my first one. I'm going to mention flipper punches. I love the guy so much, Rob Van Dam. I love you, but your little flipper punches with your little forearm that don't even connect and look soft as shit. And I've seen other guys do them too.
That's really good. That's really good.
Oh, come on, guys. You're in pro wrestling. Either throw a working punch or throw a forearm. You're pros. You know how to do it. Get rid of the flipper punches. I don't want to see them in pro wrestling anymore. My second one is John Cena.
That's it.
No, I'm just kidding. No, I'm just kidding on that one. This one I've never said before. I don't think I've ever spoken to any of you guys about it. It's always bothered me, and it's a weird one, and it'll probably make me sound and look weird. Hair extensions. Drive me nuts.
Tell that to mommy, dude. I'm here. I'm there for it. Yeah, you're off on this one.
So sometimes it can be pulled off great, but I feel like I know for a fact I can kind of see where your real hair ends and then your extensions begin, and they're 99% down your ass. I'm like, you don't need all that. What do you got all that for?
Becky Lynch's look awful.
Yes, they do. They look terrible, but I'm not shitting on anybody, but it's just something I notice that
shit on them. That's the point of the pet peeve. Like,
well, goddamn, pal. Sure, I will. I'm sorry. But it just bothers me when I can blatantly see that you've got a whole new hack of hair underneath your hair. And I don't know, maybe it's just envy because I'm bald. I don't fucking know. It just bothers me. I don't like it at all. And
Pull that weave out.
right.
Like someone should just yank that weave out. Like,
or just I would love to know the explanation outside of the beauty. Is it the fact that you don't want your real hair pulled on as much? So if they pull on the extensions, it's not as bad. I don't know.
I know,
just cosmetic.
I know Rhea's is for the gimmick.
yeah, the hot gimmick.
Exactly. But like because before she was mommy, she didn't have the extensions.
And look just as great. Much love, Rhea, if you're listening.
And if you're not, why not?
306.
And my other pet peeve that I know I've mentioned on the show, and I definitely know I've mentioned with you guys that I'm going to mention publicly, is wrestlers that do not wear the championship belt around their waist. Unless you're a giant man like, let's say, Bronson Reed or the Big Show or anyone like that can't put a championship around their waist without a belt extender, there's no need. There's the very few guys that a championship around their waist doesn't fit their character. So I'll give them that. But now everybody just carries a championship out to their match, coming down the aisle with the championship on their shoulder. Drives me nuts. I don't like it. I like guys and girls wearing the championship around their waist, getting in the ring, ripping it off, posing with it, and doing the thing the right way. So that's my 3 pet peeves.
Yeah, the championship we've heard.
Yeah.
Listen back. All of our Apple Music listeners, you have a lot of history to go through for the In My House Pro Wrestling podcast. So you're going to hear that a lot. UK Tom, what do you got?
So ours are very different, Scott.
Oh, okay.
I knew they would be.
So, but I do agree with you about the belts. Unless you're Stone Cold, wear the belt.
Yeah.
So my third one, and these are in order of annoying me.
Okay.
Love this.
Is improper tags in tag matches.
Oof. Yes.
So the New Day last night, I was ready to throw my phone through the fucking screen. A proper tag in professional wrestling, for those who do not know, you have to have both feet on the apron of the ring, and it has to be palm on palm. So this slapping on the back of the shoulder or slapping on the ass, it's not a fucking tag, and the referee should throw them out of the building. Drives me insane.
I've seen a lot of that not happening in the last few years, especially since Ring of Honor and AEW did like the tag on the shoulder and made that kind of the thing. So
it's not a tag.
All right, I get you.
And also, rings have tag ropes for a reason.
Yes.
Hold the rope.
Do agree with that. Tag ropes are very important.
So my second one is actually about promos.
Oh.
And if you've just turned heel and you then do the I didn't turn on you, you turned on me.
Oh,
so good.
You've killed your whole heel gimmick for me now, and I just don't want to see you on TV, and not because you're a heel. It's because you're uncreative and you're just doing the same promo we've heard from 157,000 people before. Either come up with something new or shut the fuck up.
Can I tag one onto that real quick?
Yes.
Also, if you turn heel and the first thing you do is put on a leather jacket, I'm not taking that seriously right away.
Why is that a thing?
It's a thing.
Well, it's a badass move to do.
But it shouldn't be a thing.
It's a thing. I noticed it a lot in NXT last year, actually, and that's what popped in my mind. I'm like, man, I've seen 3 people turn heel in NXT last year, and they're all just coming out with leather jackets now.
And they know Fonzie was a good guy, right?
I guess they don't. I guess they don't.
Yeah, so that's weird.
Yeah, we all know how we feel about Ponyboy too.
And my last one is no selling and 1 count kickouts.
Yes.
I don't like
that.
So a little bit of no selling I'm fine with if it's in the early stages of the match. If you're just getting going and you're like, whatever, that's fine. But if you've been going for 40 minutes and then he kicks you in the face and then you get straight up, I'm done with the whole thing.
You fucking hate AEW then, don't you?
Yes, I do. No, I don't. I do like AEW, but they do go a little bit too far with me with the psychology.
Yeah, that is their style.
And GCW, as much as I love them, they are fucking awful for 1 count kickouts, and it makes me mad. Especially, again, if you're 30 minutes into a match, I don't care if you've just been body slammed. You shouldn't be kicking out before one or before. Like Bronson Reed did it on Raw this week, and I've not seen it in WWE for the 1 count kick out in a long time. But Bronson Reed did it, and it was kind of acceptable because he hadn't taken much damage at all by that point. So if it makes sense, I'm okay with it. But yeah,
In the last few years, it hasn't made sense in a bunch of spots. I will say there are a couple, even in AEW, but not many.
yeah.
Mike, Monday Night Mike, your 3 pet peeves.
There's nothing, guys. Wrestling's just perfect.
Oh, Jesus.
You're not allowed to say Scott and I either.
No. I didn't even think about that. One, and I don't see it as much anymore, but fans calling wrestlers by their indie name or other names that they've had in other promotions when they're in the ring. So like looking back on the big one, like Husky Harris with Bray was one where I was just like, just buy into the new character, right? Like we get who you liked from indies when, but they're this person now. So it's not a huge one, and I actually don't see it a ton anymore. But there was a time where I was like, okay.
I gotta add a little bit onto that one too.
Yeah.
If you call them by their real name,
Mm.
hate that.
Yeah. Yeah, you're fucking playing a part. Like
I saw somebody on Twitter last night calling Rhea Demi in like every tweet. I'm like, do you fucking know her? Like, shut up.
Better fucking pal. I won't do that. It's all the character name. I want to know the real Rhea. No offense. I'm looking for mommy here. My number 2. With all the money coming into wrestling, not enough use of actual licensed music for entrances. I get you have a creative team. This will go to the Deaf Rebels of the world, creating entrance songs. There is plenty of established artists where songs rights wouldn't be hard to get. AEW's done a good job of getting licensed music. I think it's better too. Like you can flex on that. It's a win for the artists. Those deals should be easy to come by.
I think the issue is when it comes to streaming merchandising that they've either got to keep paying royalties or they have to find a generic version of it.
In this day and age, it's no longer like TV. Like those are how the deals are built now. Like you're going to streaming. They know it. So it's just how long it'll be there. But I'd like to see more licensed music because I know goddamn well everybody likes music.
Yeah.
Like, and there's great songs out there. Or I like when they get bands to do entrance songs for them. Yeah. Like create an entrance song for them.
Like Motorhead did for Triple H.
That's it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that stuff I'd like to see more of because I'm done with like generic like wrestling entrance.
No one knows what they are anymore. No one knows who's coming out to the songs that are happening these days. So that's a great one, dude. Great call.
I like that one.
Finn Balor. I actually wrote down anyone ever celebrating Finn Balor ever at any point in his career. They're wrong. He's a loser. No, I'm kidding. We had to get that out.
Well done.
Wrestling where you have to get the finish by using a signature or your finishing move. There is huge spots that happen in wrestling where you're like, that's match ending. Like you don't need to pick them up now just to do that move to tell everyone you're like, this is what beats him. Nope. I think the fun now could be that the finisher isn't the thing that puts it over. I think it's better for the 3 count, right? Because once you're in that last section or that last sequence of the match, you're like, here it is. We've all done it. You're like, here's the finish. And that kind of sucks, especially when you look at an AEW where you're like, well, what you just did before your finish was way crazier than your goddamn finish.
Yeah.
Why didn't you just pin him then? That would finish him. So I'd like to see, if you're going to use those spots, finish someone with it. 1, 2, 3, like something crazy like that. It's a big one. And a small in the slide in, Raw is 3 hours. It should be 2 hours.
I will jump in on that. I have thought this, and I think I've even said it to you guys, maybe even on the show. I'd like to see more wrestlers have more than one finisher.
Yeah.
I'd like to see them have 3 or 4. And I think if I was a wrestler coming up right now, I would be doing that, especially if I was becoming an established pro wrestler. I'd have 3 established finishers / signatures that could end a match at any time.
I mean, look at Gunther.
Yeah.
And I mean, a big thing for me, and it comes back to my number 1 of no selling, particularly in AEW. Anybody kicking out of a pile driver ever
Mhm.
upsets me a lot.
We could
They
do a
look
whole
so soft.
episode.
They look so soft now to begin with, right? Like the pile driver has just changed from when you saw one when you were a kid till now. Like that's one move where I look and I'm like, eh.
You know, who
Like
else has
I think a spike DDT looks more devastating than a pile driver.
a fantastic power driver is Joey Janela.
Yeah.
He spikes people with that. Looks
That's
great.
good.
He's
It
one of
killed
the
him.
only only people that can still do a good power driver, with the exception of Jerry Lawler. But
There you go.
I don't think he's pulling many out anymore.
We
God, no.
could do a whole episode on moves that should still be finishers. Because we're at the point now where any finisher that we saw in the 90s is now just another move.
Yeah.
And
But
it's
that's
frustrating.
with time. No, but that's with time, right? Like you have
DDT.
to evolve.
The
Super
man,
kick.
I'm seeing styles clashes that aren't being finishers. They're just moves in matches. I'm seeing moves that are done on the side, like the apron, like the apron bomb, buckle bombs, all that stuff that even in the last 10, 15 years are like, holy shit. And it's just a regular routine move now. So we don't have time to get into all of it, but I definitely think we're all.
I mean,
thinking the
this
same
could have
way.
been a mega episode if you really wanted to pick apart wrestling. Remember,
Yeah.
everyone, wrestling's fun, but let us know your picks of pet peeves in wrestling. Scotty, what's that social media again?
Well, if you want to check out our socials on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook, it is at In My House Pod. You can also find us on YouTube as well. Drop a comment there. Let us know what you think. Just give us some of your pet peeves. Just anything that really just irks you while you're watching pro wrestling that you'd like to see fixed or addressed. It won't, but it's good to get it out so you can go on with your day, right? That's right. Pro wrestling is fun, and so are you. And with that, let's get to AEW All In.
No,
Boy,
he
I
said-
could see that.
He
Yeah.
said fun.
Oh, there it is. That's right. The big Wembley Stadium show, AEW All In, is upon us. The world clamoring, chomping at the bit for this. People are selling out other arenas due to the popularity of AEW. Am I right?
So just to set the table here a little bit before we get into our picks, we're recording this on Tuesday. That means Dynamite is Wednesday. So that means there's probably going to be another 8 to 10 matches added after we've recorded this by the time Sunday comes for All In. So we're just making the picks of the matches that have been announced by now, and we'll just go from there. What do
Here we
got up
go,
first?
and we are not going to be counting 0 hour because there will be 6 other matches added to that. So here we go for what's known of the main card so far. The Casino Gauntlet match. Tom, who are the 3 confirmed for that?
Kyle O'Reilly, Roderick Strong, and Orange Cassidy.
Perfect. Out of those 3, I guess we could pick a winner, but let's do this instead. Let's pick a surprise entrant.
Okay.
That's what we're going to do for this one.
So just to confirm, the winner of this Battle Royal Gauntlet gets a world title match, I believe, at Grand Slam.
They get
Perfect.
they get a title match whenever they want.
Oh, okay. Interesting.
So I have a booking thought.
I like it. I like it.
I think we all do, so I'm excited to hear. Scotty, who are you picking as a surprise entrance?
I think Ricochet is going to show up in this thing, and that's my pick for the surprise entrant. Are we picking just a surprise entrant or a surprise entrant to win?
Yeah, well, let's do it. You can pick a winner too if you want. Doesn't have
Okay.
to be Ricochet. Yeah.
I'm gonna go Ricochet for both.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's what I'm doing. Ricochet for both.
I'm gonna send it over to UK Tom, even though
Oh.
I think we're both gonna pick the same thing, and I'm gonna be pissed that I sent it over to UK Tom. But
Okay.
UK Tom, who do you got?
So my surprise is Zack Sabre Jr.
Oh,
Yeah.
it's not. But I
Just-
mean, I like the pick.
because
I hate it.
I know he's wrestling in London the night before. So makes sense. Plus he just won the G1, which I know makes Scott real happy.
I fucking hate wrestling.
And my surprise winner is Hangman Page. My pick for the winner is Hangman Page.
I like that.
Who
Actually, I
then
like it a lot.
cashes in, wins the title from Swerve, and retires Danielson at All In.
Jesus.
Wow, that's bold thing. I also have Hangman Adam Page to win, but I'm picking Grado. Grado's gonna be in. Yeah, Grado's gonna be in the.
Only if he gets the like a prayer entrance song.
He won't.
If he's not getting that, I don't want to see him.
Well, it will be playing in the arena, but it won't in the stadium, but it
Yeah.
won't be playing on the TV.
Mm.
But nope, yeah, Grado's. But I'm with Tom. Hangman's gonna win.
Fuck. Forgot about Hangman. All right. I actually went back the other day and watched Grado's entrance with that song when it blew up back in a few years ago. It's still one of my favorite entrances of all time. But what do we got next?
The London ladder match for the AEW World Trios Championship. Holy fucking naming of things.
Because that's what we need on another AEW pay-per-view. A random ladder match with no fucking build.
Yep. And we got the Bang Bang Gang.
That's
which,
good.
I mean, that's all right. The House of Black still work there. So they're gonna be in this match. A mystery team, from what I see. Ooh.
Spooky.
And the Patriarchy.
This is for the Trios Championship?
It's for the Trios Championship.
I'm going Patriarchy retains.
I'm going with Patriarchy retains. Because
what other trio is out there?
You know the House of Black are not laying down, so of course they need to lose in another gimmick match.
Yeah,
of course. But the mystery team, we don't know who it is, right? Like we haven't.
It'll be announced before the show, I believe.
Yeah, I think on
I
Collision
think it's
we
on
find
Collision.
out.
Yeah.
So what team is Edge putting together?
Nah, I think it's the Grizzled Young Veterans and the Dynamite Kid, whose name I've forgotten outside of the Dynamite
Tom
Kid.
Billington.
Billington. Yeah.
Interesting.
You know what? I'm gonna give it to my boys in the House of Black.
I mean, I would like them to have the belts again to give them something
for
to
me,
do.
Forever Trios Championship.
Yeah, never lose those
holders.
belts.
Yeah.
Love
Next up, this one's just for Tom. It's the AEW World Tag Team Championship. That's right. It's FTR versus the Acclaimed versus UK Tom's favorite tag team in the entire world, the Young Bucks. Yes, he owns a Young Bucks shirt. Yes, he is a fan of the Young Bucks.
I do.
UK Tom, who do you got?
I do own a Young Bucks shirt, but I did not purchase said Young Bucks shirt. I vote that the entire ring implodes and they all fall down to hell.
Wow. Just insta death.
Yeah, insta death, or like whatever that thing that happens on Fortnite when you run into the cloud. I've never played Fortnite. I don't know what I'm talking about. When you
that's death. Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
great pop culture reference.
Let's make that happen. No, I think FTR are going to win. As much as I love FTR, they're pretty cold right now. The whole tag division is. But with the Young Bucks working less dates, which somehow is possible when you're only working 1 day a week, why just fuck off.
Okay.
They need to get the belts off them. FTR can take, at least FTR can have good matches with people unlike Matt and Nick.
I'm going to go the Acclaimed. FTR doesn't work a lot of dates either. They're hurt a lot, or they're pulling guns on people. So they're not really at TV as much as I would like them to. And if they are, they're on Collision. And I'm going the Acclaimed. I think
I got FTR.
You got FTR?
Yeah.
Interesting. All right. I like it. What do we got next?
Next up, the FTW Championship. That's right. Jesus. Hook going for the FTW Championship versus Chris Jericho.
Who cares?
That's exactly right.
Can we change this to the loser goes to NXT and just have Hook lay down and leave?
As long as he takes
Hook.
Taz with him. I'm going Hook, but I don't know if Jericho's ego will let him lose in front of that crowd again after he put Ospreay over last year.
That's a good point.
Jericho's winning. Hook's leaving.
Yeah.
Get him to the PC as soon as possible.
I think Hook is winning, but I'm happy to lose a point on that one.
Scotty, who'd you have? Sorry.
I got Hook. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going Jericho.
Yeah.
This really could be blowing it on my lead for.
I think they're going to give Hook a huge push until mid-September.
Oh,
that sounds about right.
Yeah.
Next up, coffin match for the TNT Championship. Darby Allin versus Jack Perry. Sweet fucking Christ. Why do we need a coffin match? Oh my God.
Let's book Darby Allin in the exact same gimmick match he was in last time they were in Wembley Stadium, because that's fun.
He's the new Undertaker.
I'm going. When the Undertaker was 7. Size of that kid.
I'm going Jack Perry, and I think there'll be a Real Glass reference.
I'm also going Jack Perry because if he loses when he's just literally made his own championship, that would suck.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's good for the heels. Jack Perry.
What's next?
The AEW American Championship. Will Ospreay versus MJF. MJF beats Will Ospreay in London.
MJF beats Will Ospreay in London.
I'm going Will Ospreay gets the championship back.
I'm going MJF wins in London and attacks Ospreay after the match, and that's when we see Ricochet, not in
I like
not in the thing.
I like it.
Tom's head's on straight. Next up, the TBS Championship. Britt Baker versus Mercedes Moné. The match you all want to see.
Mercedes Moné, and I have to add in, because I've been meaning to say this on the pod for a while and keep forgetting because that's how relevant she is. Britt Baker is the worst professional wrestler I've ever seen in my life. I literally would rather watch Maxine Dupree.
We'll get into that next week.
God damn,
before we go,
buried. I also have Mercedes Moné though.
Yeah, me too.
I watched Britt Baker. Like, did she wrestle Shida recently? No, that was Mercedes Moné.
Yeah.
Britt Baker wrestled somebody recently. I don't remember who it was, and it was like they were in slow motion.
Like, ring rust is there.
Like, I am fat and broken, and I can probably get around a ring quicker than she can. Like, Jesus Christ.
Awesome.
What do we got next?
Next up, the AEW's Women's World Championship. Timeless Toni Storm versus Mariah May. Could steal the night.
I'm going Tony.
I'm also going Tony.
I'm going Mariah.
Okay.
And to end our night, Bryan Danielson versus Swerve Strickland for the AEW World Heavyweight Championship. What do we got?
I'm going Bryan Danielson.
I'm going Hangman Page.
I'm going Danielson.
There you go. That hit us up on the socials at In My House Pod. Let us know your picks for AEW All In. Guys, we are fresh out of time for Monday Night Mike. Are you okay, Tom? For ScottyVia, this is the In My House Pro Wrestling Podcast.
Welcome to my house. Play that music too loud. Show me what you do now. We don't have to go wild. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. Welcome to my house. It's my house. Yowie wowie.